Have you ever wondered why you act confident in a particular situation or when talking to a certain group of people, and then in another situation you become very quiet or very shy? So it feels like one moment you are this easygoing person who won't stop talking like they swallow the parrot, and the next you become like Flash from Zootopia who can't speak fast enough. See, I, like most people, used to think it was simply about being more comfortable around a certain group of people or in a specific situation. But I did some digging, as I do, and I found out there's actually more to it. It's actually due to something called self monitoring, and that is what we will be talking about today. So, self monitoring is a psychological tendency to adjust your behavior and manage how you present yourself based on social cues. So, basically, you are reading the room and responding accordingly. And this isn't just about noticing the vibe, but you are actively shaping how others see you. The theory of self monitoring was developed by psychologist Mark Snyder in the 1970s, and he explained that people vary in their tendency to self-monitor. Some are high self-monitors, some are low, and many fall somewhere in between the two. So high self-monitors are essentially the chameleons of social behavior. These are people who quickly pick up on tone, attire, expectations, stuff like that, and then adjust themselves to fit the situation. They adapt fast so they can navigate new situations and connect with all kinds of people. So if you know anyone who can walk into like a wedding, for instance, and somehow know exactly what to say and how to act, that is probably a high self-monitor. Low self-monitors, on the other hand, tend to stay more consistent across situations. They are guided more by their own values than by the environment. They still notice contexts and might adapt at times, but much less than those who are high self-monitors. This is the friend who can wear sneakers to a black tie event and somehow get away with it because everybody knows that's just who they are. So is self-monitoring wrong? Not really. See, while it's important to stay true to who you are, it's also very important to be able to adapt in different situations, even if not completely. The ability to adapt can help keep relationships intact and prevent a lot of problems. It's the reason you can be more relaxed with friends because the stakes feel low. I mean, if you make a bad joke, they might roll their eyes at you or tease you. But then, at work with your boss present, you tend to be more reserved because the stakes are higher. If your boss gets mad at you, you could get fired. You get fired, no money. No money, no rent. No rent, you become homeless. You are homeless, you start living in your car. You're living in your car, you get skinny. Why are you skinny? You're not, it is an entire thing. May God not allow that happen to us. So as you can see, it's not about pretending or being fake. It's adapting to situations. But I do have to say, while self-monitoring is important, it does have its drawbacks. Let's look at high self-monitors first. See, while they excel at adapting to different social environments, the constant adjustment can come at a cost. They may struggle with being authentic, and over time, they can get confused about their own identity or even burn out from always performing for others. While low self-monitors may be perceived as inflexible or socially unaware, especially if they fail to adjust when a situation requires sensitivity. In group settings, this can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts since they can speak their minds without considering how their words will be received by others. So while their honesty is admirable, it can unintentionally limit their opportunities and socializations. So this is why balance matters. You don't want to be a full-time chameleon, but you also don't want to be a brick wall. So how do you actually keep that balance? For high self-monitors, I advise you know your core values. Ask yourself questions like, what are the few things that are non-negotiable to you? Like morals, aspiration, beliefs, things that define who you are. This will help you adapt without losing your identity. Also, keep one or two constants. Choose one small trait or habit, like always showing kindness or making a joke, and maintain it across situations. The next thing you can do is observe your shifts. See, I have noticed that we shift our personalities sometimes even when the situation doesn't need it. So notice when you change your behavior and ask yourself if this shift is actually needed. Now, if you're a low self-monitor, I suggest you practice reading the room. Before speaking or acting, take a moment and try to notice the tone or energy and the expectations of the people in the group. The next thing you can do is practice small adjustments. You don't need to change everything about yourself or change who you are completely, but try making tiny changes. Things like softening your tone or posing your opinion as a question or trying to use more positive body language. This is going to be your attempt at meeting others halfway without feeling fake. The next thing you can do is ask for feedback. Reach out to friends or family or trusted colleagues and ask them how you come across in different situations. This can help you spot moments where a little flexibility could go a long way. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and tell me, would you describe yourself as a high self-monitor or a low self-monitor? Let's talk about it in the comments. See you next time. Bye.